Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to set up a full development environment for programming Parrot drones on Ubuntu 20. Let's just start with a quick introduction. Parrot is one of the major drone manufacturers in the world. Their flagship products, Parrot Anafi USA and Nvidia, offer thermal and stereo cameras for 3D mapping, aerial surveillance, and thermal analyzing. These drones are used by US Army, US Navy, Royal Marines, Royal Air Force, and many other security bodies in North America, Europe, and Asia. Parrot drones are known for their high-quality hardware and user-friendly software, making them a popular choice for developers and hobbyists alike. They are versatile, easy to fly, and support various applications from aerial photography to photogrammetry and 3D mapping. For programming Parrot Anafi, Anafi USA, and Anafi AI, you need an Ubuntu 20 focal or Ubuntu 22 jammy stations. I personally prefer Ubuntu 20 as Nvidia Drivers releases are still unstable on Ubuntu 20 and later releases. A lot of you guys might be asking why we can use Windows for it. The answer is that the official Parrot Python SDK, Parrot Olympe, is only supported on Linux and cannot be run on Windows or Mac OS. So once you have your Ubuntu station ready, the first step is to install the driver of your Nvidia graphic card. To do so, open up a terminal, and here to see the list of available Nvidia graphic card drivers, you can simply type sudo apt list Nvidia driver and then tap start, enter your password, and here let me just increase the font size. Here you can see a list of available graphic card drivers for Ubuntu 20. I'm going to install Nvidia driver 530. So for doing so, you can just simply type sudo apt get install Nvidia driver 530. Since I've already installed the driver, it will not proceed with the installation because obviously I have the driver installed for recording this video. But for you, it's going to open up a prompt and you need to click or enter yes to proceed with the installation. Once the installation is over, to verify that the graphic card is running on your system, you can simply type Nvidia SMI. Here you can see your graphic card type and then the usage. So to see the usage, to monitor the usage of your graphic card, you can simply type watch Nvidia SMI. Here you can see the real-time utilization of a graphic card or this box here, which means that our graphic card has been successfully installed and is being utilized by the system. In the next part, once we have our graphic card driver installed, we are going to install Parrot Olympe Python library on our system. So this is a tricky part. The Olympe, if you go over Parrot Olympe official website, and if you go over documentation and then installation, here we can see that according to the guidelines, Olympe is only supported on PIP versions of 20.3 or higher. But if you go over your Ubuntu system here, if I type PIP version, okay, I don't have PIP installed, so I'm going to go ahead and say sudo apt install python 3 pip, and then type your password. It's going to install the default version for Ubuntu 20. Once installation is over, if you type pip version, you see that the default install version is 20.0.2, which is a version that is below the requirements. So to resolve this issue, what we need to do is to basically create a virtual environment and then install the latest pip version on the virtual environment. For some reason, we cannot change the version over here. So for doing so, what we need to actually do is to install a package called sudo apt install python 3.8-vn. It does the same functionality like conda, but it uses the default Python virtual environment. So once you have the vn installed, you can go ahead and type the following command: python-m vn, and then let's call our virtual environment Parrot. Yeah, so for some reasons our terminal is not able to locate Python, so it automatically tries to reach out Python 3. So to resolve that issue, we can sudo apt install Python is Python 3, which basically creates an alias for Python. So let's go back and re-enter the same command, python-m vn parrot. Awesome. So now if you open your browser here, you'll see that there's a new folder called Parrot, which contains the files for your virtual environment. Over here, you'll see that there's an activate file on the bin folder. So to activate this virtual environment, you can simply type source parrot bin and then activate. And then you can see the indicator here that shows you're actually over the virtual environment right now instead of the default Python environment. Over here, I'm going to install pip and upgrade the latest version. For doing so, I can simply type, let me close this thing here, python-m pip install upgrade pip. So now if I type pip version, you see that now it's 24.0, whereas the default version on Ubuntu is still 20.0.2. Now that we have the latest version of pip installed on our virtual environment, you can simply go ahead and copy paste this command and install Parrot Olympe. It's going to take a few seconds to install the requirements. And once the installation is over, to verify the installation of pip. So once the installation is over, to verify the usage of Olympe, you can simply open up a Python interactive kernel here, and then go ahead and import Olympe. Once you don't get any errors, it means that Olympe library is successfully imported over your kernel, which means that the installation is successful. Now that we have successfully installed Olympe, we can go ahead and continue our setup by installing Parrot Sphinx simulator. For doing so, let's open a browser here. Let's open a new page and I'll look for Parrot Sphinx. Click on the official website and then navigate to installation tab. Over here, I'm going back to my terminal here. You can right click and click on always on top to have it over here. So the first step is to register Parrot Sphinx PPA and the repository keys. So here I have not installed here. So what I'm going to do is to copy paste this line here, Ctrl+Shift+C and then Ctrl+Shift+V, and click yes to install the latest version of curl. Once we have it installed, re-enter the previous command and wait until it's finished, and then copy paste the echo command, and then update your app repository. So once your Sphinx PPA keys are set up, you can go ahead and then install the latest version with sudo apt install Parrot Sphinx. Click yes, and wait a few seconds until the installation is over. Once you're faced with this tab, just click on OK and then yes. And then it asks which users to add to the framework group. You can just type your username here, like others. For mine, we'll need to log in. New membership to be effective. Otherwise, attempts to control firmware as a user will result in operation not parameter errors. Now we have installed Parrot Sphinx. To run a Sphinx, you need to have a Unreal Engine 4 application running to interact with the Sphinx. For installing UE4, let's update our app repositories here, and then you can simply see the candidates for UE4 environments. So you see that there are a few options here: Parrot UE4 Factory, Carla, Industrial City, Office, etc. I'm going to install the default UE4 empty version here. So go ahead and paste this command: sudo apt install Parrot UE4 empty. So Unreal Engine 4 is one of the most powerful simulators, which is predominantly used by game developers. Its most famous rival is Unity. Unity is also used for robotics and gaming as well, but Unreal Engine has proved to be more powerful and versatile, and the latest version UE5 offers even more realistic features on its simulation tool. So we have installed Sphinx and UE4. To activate this setup, we need to reboot and relog into our system. So here I'm going to type reboot and then click enter to reboot your system. So once you have rebooted your system, you can open up a new terminal, and over here I'm going to open up a browser here, and let's go back to Parrot Sphinx official website. Click on Parrot Sphinx and then now click on quick start. Over here, let me bring the browser over here, and then I have terminal here. To increase the terminal font size, you can simply hold Ctrl+Shift+ or Ctrl- to change the font size over a terminal. So here let's enter sudo systems control start firmware services. I'm going to enter my password and then run the Sphinx here. So you see that there's a message. It says waiting for a UE4 application to start. It means that Sphinx is running properly and is waiting for us to run a UE4 application to interact with the simulator. So here I'm going to run Parrot UE4 here. It's gonna take a few seconds. So now we can see that we have Parrot Sphinx running, and it's downloading the zip file, which contains the parameters for the drones and the CAD files. So now Parrot Sphinx is running alongside UE4 on our system. Right now, to see that the simulation is running on your GPU, you can simply type watch Nvidia SMI, and here you'll be able to see that Sphinx is utilizing 46% of our GPU capacity here. which means it's running fine. Otherwise, you would have lagged simulation, which would kind of be annoying. Yeah. So let me close that terminal. So once you have your Sphinx running here, to actually run this drone, you need to run a Python code. Parrot Olympe, the official library, has a GitHub repository. Let me just open the Parrot Olympe GitHub. Another issue is that once you have Sphinx running, you will lose Wi-Fi. To fix that issue, we need to add a command line to our Sphinx terminal to resolve this issue. Here I'm going to, let me just reconnect to my Wi-Fi here. This is a very annoying issue. So I have resolved this issue on my GitHub account. So go over Metronics and Parrot ROS, which is a package I've developed for running Parrot Sphinx on ROS. So here, if you navigate through here, you see Wi-Fi fix. So for fixing Wi-Fi, you basically need to add this term here. Wi-Fi iFace is null, so that would keep your Wi-Fi intact from being used by Sphinx. So let me run it again, and this time we'll now lose access to Wi-Fi. Let me resize this window here. Okay, so I was trying to go over Parrot Olympe GitHub repository. This is the source code for Parrot Olympe Python library. So let's go and clone this repository into our system. I'm going over documents. Here, I'm going to create a new directory called Python. Let's go over Python and then git clone Parrot Olympe. I don't have git installed, so just copy paste this line and then enter your password. Oops, I entered the wrong password. So it's gonna have a prompt. Just agree with the installation, and then you're gonna have the latest version of Git installed on your Ubuntu. So let's go back to our command line here. Git clone Parrot developers Parrot Olympe. Just click say yes, and then permission denied. Oh, I was trying to do SSH. Let's just do HTTPS. So I have cloned the latest version of Parrot Olympe. Let's go over Olympe, and then you see there's a folder called source. Let's go over source Olympe, and then there should be a file called, there should be a folder called examples. Oh, we have to go doc and then examples. And here you see a bunch of examples that actually offers, you see a number of different examples which kind of try to navigate you through different functionalities of drone. So let me bring the simulator here. Let me put this over here. I'm going to, before running any of these examples, we have to activate the Parrot virtual environment. Otherwise, you will get an error. So let's source Parrot bin activate. Here you see we are on a Parrot virtual environment now. And then type Python takeoff.py. Now you see the Olympe is able to communicate with the Parrot Sphinx, which sends a takeoff command. And then once the takeoff is successful, it waits for a few seconds and then it lands. So to inspect this code, you can simply type cat takeoff.py actually. There's a few lines here that actually there's a few lines here that actually defines the drone IP address and then sends the command to this IP address. For sending the same command to an actual drone, the only difference here is the IP address. For Sphinx, it's 10.202.0.1. For actual drone, it's actually 192.168.42.1. You can double check it on the Parrot official website. Let's go over here and then click on, let's search for Parrot drone, Parrot Anafi. Parrot Anafi IP. Here you can see it's 192.168.42.1. The only difference is the IP address. All the functionalities and different tools that you can use on the Sphinx are valid for the actual drone. So Sphinx provides you with a very powerful tool to test your codes and algorithms before running them on an actual drone, which would prevent a lot of crashes and unnecessary faults. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're interested in more videos, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.